Yo guys, what's up? It's me, it's Anholic. So you can see that I'm right now on the highway. This is National Highway, I guess it's 8, Gujarat, which connects to Gujarat, Delhi. If I'm not wrong, it's National Highway 8. So friends, so what I'm gonna do is today is share my thoughts with you on the basis of my experience and the touring experience which I had with this motorcycle. And the main reason why I'm doing this review is a few days back when I went for a ride. A few of my friends who also wanted to join me, but unfortunately they don't have any motorcycle, so they wanted to join me, and they bought their car along with us. So I told them it's not fun to. If you really want to enjoy the freedom, there is no better way to get a motorcycle, get on it and just drive it. That's the best way of getting that freedom, the sense of freedom. So now what happened when I was just talking all this shit with them, they told me why don't I suggest them a motorcycle. And so obviously when they came to me and when they asked me about a motorcycle, my choice was Honda. But some of the people, they were like started arguing me like it's a quite old motorcycle. It's already I think 5-6 years old model. I think in 2011 they have officially launched this motorcycle, so it is almost like 5 years have been already completed. And very soon they are going to launch a 2016 model, which I'm also actually waiting with the dual headlight. If you have seen the photographs and some of the videos on YouTube and on internet. So basically all these people just started arguing with me, and they wanted to know more about this motorcycle. There were 3-4 motorcycles which people actually wanted to buy, like for a touring. The number one choice is obviously Royal Enfield, which is quite a popular nowadays, and the other two very famous motorcycles. The second is KTM Duke 390, which is an awesome bike, and recently Mahindra has launched Mojo 300 Resolve, which is also one of the best motorcycle which is available in an Indian market, especially for touring for a long distance. No doubt they have done a very good engineering work on that motorcycle, and it is an awesome motorcycle. And recently Royal Enfield have launched the Himalayan, which is a purpose-built motorcycle. It's an adventure motorcycle, so it a little bit it makes the choice. There are a lot of choice for a touring. So I thought, why don't I just share my thoughts about this motorcycle. And if today if I wanted to choose a motorcycle, I'll definitely choose this motorcycle. The number one reason is, or maybe let me just say in this way, that why did I choose this motorcycle is because my requirement was obviously touring, but along with the touring I also required a motorcycle which can satisfy my the commuting needs. I have my office in Bandra and I stay Borivali, so almost like 50-60 kilometers is the everyday ride which I use. Taking car in a Mumbai traffic is not practical, so I required a motorcycle. So the basic requirement was commuter. Second was a proper powerful strong tourer. So when I bought this motorcycle, there was only one motorcycle which was which comes into my category. That was KTM Duke 390. Royal Enfield, I've already owned a Royal Enfield in my life, so I'm not so satisfied with the technology. I love a technologically advanced motorcycle. So the number one reason why I will suggest all of you to buy a CBR is the reliability. Number one point. In fact, it is the most important point about this motorcycle. A very comfortable motorcycle. The third point is the fuel economy is also awesome. Why I'm saying is awesome is because being a 2cc motorcycle, it gives me around 30-32 kilometers in a city in bumper to bumper traffic, and on a highway I have noticed that I've got around 34-35 kilometers. If you see my recent videos, I've gone to Panchgiri with my brother, and I wasn't driving that fast. I was just cruising at 110-120 kilometers. The fuel economy which I got was around 34. which is pretty awesome. The tank capacity, the fuel tank capacity is also 13 liters, so you don't need of a frequent refueling of the motorcycle. Number one reason why I didn't went for a KTM Duke 390 is because of the small fuel tank. The only, I think the capacity is around 11 liter, and the I think 2.5 liters is in a reserve, so almost like 9 or 10, around 9 liters you can use, if I'm not wrong. And it's not a fuel efficient bike. It gives you around 18 to 25 kilometers. That's the fuel economy which you get if you're driving a KTM. But people don't buy KTM for the fuel economy. It's an awesome, magnificent motorcycle. In fact, very soon I might buy a KTM Duke 390. I'll keep this bike, Duke 390, as my second motorcycle. The hardware of this motorcycle is quite capable. It's 250cc motorcycle, which produce almost 26.7 bhp, almost 27 bhp, which is quite sufficient. And the torque is also very good, almost like 23.5 Nm of torque. But the torques come after 5000 rpm. That's the only thing which I don't like about this motorcycle. If you're driving fast, right now I'm at around 95 kilometers, above 90, and the bike is so smooth. So these are the things which make this motorcycle so good. So for a tall guy like me, this bike is very comfortable. The seating position and the riding comfort is, the ergonomics is so suitable for long distance as well as, and it is also suitable for tall people. Both the tires are tubeless. Again, it's added very strong advantage, because while touring, if there is any kind of a flat tire, you can still drive almost like 50-60 kilometers, no problem. The top speed of this motorcycle is also good. You can reach easily around 135 to 140 kilometers, which is not bad. My max is around 138, 140. And once you reach 8500 rpm, it has a rave limiter. At the 8500 rpm, once you reach there, you will not go further. It's one of the safety features which is there. It has a 5 sensor in this motorcycle. It's a fuel injected liquid cool engine. So these are the things which make this motorcycle so good. So if you're a proper tourer, if you love touring around, number one choice is Honda CBR. Second choice is KTM Duke 390. Third choice is go for a Mojo. Fourth choice will be Himalayan or any other Royal Enfield motorcycle. You can choose 350 or 500cc, all are good. What I'm going to do is, if I'll get a good spot over here, I'm going to stop this motorcycle and show you the things which I've done, a small mods, or maybe you can say some useful modification for a touring purpose. So these are all the things, good thing about this motorcycle, but there are some bad points about this motorcycle also. Now when I say bad point, that doesn't mean it's something manufacturing defect or something which has not been something very big issue, which completely this manufacturer have lost to recognized it. It's nothing like that. Now there are basically three things which I don't like about this motorcycle. Is number one thing is I didn't like the mirror. If you can see over here, problem with this mirror is they are quite out, and because it is quite out, what happens when you are filtering through traffic, there is a possibility that you can hit any other vehicle. So the second point which I don't like about the bike is the gear calibration. Now the gear calibration, what I mean to say is the first and second gear is quite short. So when you are driving in a city, you need to change the gear frequently. And I feel the reason why they have designed those gear very short is because the torque generates after normally around 4500 rpm. So what happens when you are at the lower rpm, the torques come, because the torque comes late, they have to keep the gear ratio very small, so that when you're driving in a city or maybe with a pillion in a city, you require that pulling power. So the first and second gear, that's the reason why it is quite small. Just like in heavy trucks, if you have noticed, if you've seen some heavy trucks, when they are climbing up any hill or something, they have a special gear. The RPM is quite high and they are moving very slow. So same thing with this bike also, but it is quite easily manageable once you get used to the gearing of this bike. you can easily handle. Third point which I don't like, I didn't like it initially when I bought this motorcycle, was the seat. If you can see, oh yeah, I've changed the seat. I've not changed the seat, but I've added a little bit of padding of extra foam on the seat, which has solved my problem. The stock seat which comes when you buy this motorcycle, the foam layer is hardly around 1.5 inch. So it is good for the city as well as on a track, but not good for a long distance. After 200 or 300 kilometers, you'll start having that pain, and that pain is not good if you're going for a long distance. It's not fun to drive with pain. So that's it, guys. These are the things which I loved about this motorcycle. This is absolutely reliable motorcycle. Go for it, no problem, no issue. Best fuel efficient, no maintenance. It's quite reliable motorcycle. The tire size is also good. It's a good tire, but not so sticky. It requires a little bit time to get warm. Once it is warm, then it gives a good feedback, but other than, it's not that a good pair of tire, but it is okay. They purposely kept the compound of the tires a bit hard so that the life can extend. But very soon I'm gonna change this tire with MRF or maybe Michelin. I'll just check it out. Recently MRF has launched a very good set of tire. So guys, these are the things which I loved about this motorcycle and the things which I don't like about the motorcycle. Now the few mods which I've done on this motorcycle, on this bike. The first thing which I have changed, if you can see over here, is the handlebar. This is not the stock handlebar. The stock comes with a clip-on, and the reason why I've changed this thing is because the clip-on, I didn't like the clip-on bars, not because it has some technical disadvantage or something like that, but the thing is why I change is because I'm quite tall. As I told you that I'm 6 feet, so in a city it was giving me pain over here. And the second pain which I started having after driving like say 30 kilometers was behind my neck and back, and the front suspension are quite soft. So what happened, when you hit the brake, you dip and all your body weight transfer to your wrist. So that's the reason why I went for the modification, and this is I have done personally. I have purchased the triple clamp, the top triple clamp of this, drilled 2 hole on it, mounted the this thing from, I think, if I'm not wrong, Hero Honda Splendor or Passion. This bracket, if you can see over here, okay, and this is from Bajaj Pulsar 150, and it's perfect. The second thing which I've done is the light over here, you can see over here, which I have mounted over here. And again, I have not changed any of the cosmetics, like I've not drilled any hole or extra holes. I made a small bracket over here, if you can see over here, which mounts on the same area where the mirrors have been mounted. It is removable. You can entirely remove this in a unit and keep it away. So these are also very strong, powerful spotlight. These are not the floodlight. These are spotlights LED, and I think it's a 9 LED with a 27 watts, if I'm not wrong. It's quite bright. The headlight, the stock headlight, is powerful, but it is not that bright enough. And I have noticed when I bought this motorcycle and when I went for a few of my rides, I felt that at night time the light is not that quite adequate. So you can see the only thing which I don't like about is the wiring area, because as I told you that I don't like to alter any of the cosmetics. So I've just transferred the wire from here. It goes from here inside, and especially for that I've given a switch. Okay, so when you press the switch, obviously lights is on, and this is also a waterproof switch. Please don't use any toggle switch which is locally available. It's not worth. It just hardly cost 200 or 250 rupees. Again, I bought the switch from eBay. You can type switch on and off switch on eBay. You will get the informations, and lots of other varieties is nowadays available. So this was the second thing which I've a small mod which I've done for my touring requirement. Third thing which I've done is, if you can see over here, the small switch over here. This is basically an hazard light. It is also a must thing when you're going for a long distance. I'll show you. So basically this is a bypass switch. I've connected with the circuit, and when you say, this is a normal signal light, left, so you can see the left indicator is blinking right now, and this is the right. But when you bypass the system and if you press, you can see all the lights are now working together. So this is basically hazard light, which is a very useful thing when you're going for a long distance ride, and especially this is required when it is a night time, and I do a lot of night driving. I love night driving. The last modification is not actually modification, I'm keep on saying modification. These are not modification, these are things which is, you can say it's an add-on, things which I've added on my motorcycle. Yeah, you can see over here the small LED over here. This is LED strobe light. Now the reason why I did this, I mounted this LED is because I mostly drive with my brother, and sometimes we get lost. So this strobe lights are very useful to recognize from a long distance. And why I have mounted it in one in front and one in back is same modification. I've done it on my brother's motorcycle. So when I'm ahead, from my rear view I can watch my brother. I'll show you the blinking of this strobe light, and when I'm ahead, my brother can easily see my tail. So my rear blinker, when it blinks, he can immediately make it out that where my brother is. So I'll just show you. And again, I have mounted a switch over here, a small toggle switch over here, you can see. Okay, so I'll just show you how it works. Now it is on, and we'll see. So this is the rear blinker, very powerful. It has a 50,000 hours of blinking, so almost it is lifelong now, completely waterproof. And again, same, I bought it from Amazon. You can just type strobe lights. It costed me around 330 rupees, quite cheap. And all the wiring, as you already know that I know, I modified and I customized motorcycles, so I know everything about the wiring also. But please don't do it by yourself if you're not aware of all the wiring. If you don't know about any wiring stuff, please don't touch any of the wiring thing. This is the front side. It's quite powerful, and the visibility is almost like 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers. You can easily spot the blinkers. So now this is the front blinkers. So when my brother is ahead, from the rear view he can make it where I am. So that's how we are able to spot each other. So these are the things which I've done on my motorcycle, and I love this motorcycle. So guys, thanks for watching, and until next time, stay happy, ride motorcycle. God bless you. Thanks a lot.